Well, we're almost a week into the bear season here, and I suppose I should give you an update. You're probably wondering why I haven't put out a video for a few days, so let me just bring you up to speed on what's been happening. It's kind of been up and down. Just a reminder, you probably saw that Dave got his bear here on my home bait on opening day, and also Rick was baiting for Paul, and Paul shot also a nice representative bear on opening day. So that's 2 for 4, I guess you'd say. And then we ended up pulling the bait that was about 40 miles north of here, because it just had a sow with 3 cubs on it, and sometimes those more aggressive big sows like that will just take over a bait, and no other bears will use it. So that's kind of where we're at there. We just pulled the plug on it. John is he's hunted the 40 bait a couple times. He's hunted the home bait a couple times, and just kind of in the wrong place at the wrong time. And so I ended up letting him go out to the swamp bait. The swamp bait has quite a few bears on it, as many as 8 in 24 hours. There are 3 huge bears that have been on that bait. Scarface, and I've named them. Scarface is one, Big Slick is one, because he's got a real shiny, real nice sleek pelt on him, and he's about a 300 to 350 pound bear. And then the belly dragger bear is another one, about probably 350 plus, and Scarface is, I'm sure, if he's not 400, he's darn close. Well, Scarface has been AWOL for about 5 days now. The belly dragger bear, I had a close encounter with him, which I'll tell you about here in a second. But John ended up going out to the swamp there, and he had a really close call with Big Slick, who came right to the edge of the bait site and sat down and just looked around and then left. He also had another bear that was a shooter bear that came in right at last light, and it was actually a few minutes before the end of legal shooting light, but John didn't feel like he could see his pins well, and he couldn't video it, of course, and he finally just decided the ethical thing was to not shoot the bear, which I respect. Unfortunately, that put him in a situation where he had to get out of the stand with a bear in the proximity, and also another bear he said he could hear around there, which was probably Big Slick, or at least there was one other bear around there. It could have been the belly dragger. So anyway, there was 2 bears spooked by that episode. So we have rested that bait now for 3 days. Nobody's been in there. And last night, my cell phone camera texted me pictures of 5 different bears between 4 in the afternoon and 3 in the morning, most of which the belly dragger, Big Slick, and there's a 200 pound bear in there that would be a good shooter for someone. Those are all nocturnal. The weather has been really creepy on us. I mean, we've got a lot of rain. Seems like it's been raining every other day, which makes things kind of tough, because you know, it knocks down your scent and the bait turns to mush and so forth. We've had some real just downpours and just heavy rain, a couple of those, and one of them had a lot of wind associated with it. The next morning I went out, and I happened to be driving by my neighbor's driveway, and I took this short video right here that gives you an example of what can be a real problem when the wind blows this time of the year. It knocked down a bajillion acorns all over the woods and everything like that. So that was, what, 3 days ago now. Well, the baits have been tough since then, and so, you know, we still have pretty good opportunity to shoot an average bear, but I waited 6 years for this tag, and I've got some really big bears on the baits, and it just makes sense to me to hold out. Unfortunately, John's got to go home if something doesn't happen pretty quick for him. He's from southern Iowa, and so he's just had really bad luck. He's a cop, so I accused him of going down to the baits and eating the donuts, but I'm sure that's not really the case. But anyway, so that's where we're at right now. I mentioned that I had this close call with the belly dragger bear. This was on the 3rd day of the season. I went in there, had a good wind, and unfortunately this bear came in from a direction that I was not expecting, and I just did this short segment that I wanted to explain what happened there, and I think you'll really learn something from it, so I'll play that right now. When I settled into the stand yesterday, I thought there's probably an 80% chance that I'm going to kill a bear today. I mean, I felt really, really good about it. It was really unfortunate what happened the first day, and I knew there was rain coming in, but I was hoping that one of these big bears would come in before the rain hit. So it was probably about 7 o'clock, and I was watching the radar, and the rain was getting close. But I heard a noise, and it was a crashing noise, and it sounded as if a bigger bear was chasing a smaller bear away. And that's pretty common around these baits. And I had a picture of a small bear on the bait that was texted to me by my covert scouting camera, the cell phone camera, at 3 o'clock before I even went out there. So I knew there was a small bear in the area. And so when I heard this noise of this chasing and crashing and stuff like that, I just become super focused on that area right in front of me. The bait is exactly to my left, and the area right in front of me is the area where I was hearing this crashing. It seemed like it was about 50 yards away. So I just became hyper focused on that area, and it was probably 10 to 15 minutes later that this happened. I got to back up a little bit here, and I got to explain something to you, because a lot of people that are watching this probably don't know this. Bears have something on the roof of their mouth. It's called the Jacobson's organ, and it is connected to the same part of their brain that their nasal cavities in their snout, all of those olfactory receptors in their snout are connected to a part of their brain. It's bigger than a human's brain. It's one of the reasons why they can smell so well. But this Jacobson's organ is on the roof of their mouth, and if you've ever seen a bear who's just kind of doing his nose up and down like this, and he's kind of curling his lips, and he's really testing the wind, what they're doing is they're drawing air across that Jacobson's organ, because they can actually smell with their mouth. And when they do that, they make this kind of a hissing suck sound that's really, really quiet. I mean, you got to be really, really close to hear it. And I've hunted bears all over North America for 20 years. I've probably only heard this sound 3 or 4 times, just because you have to be so close to them. It's not a loud noise at all. Okay, back to the story. So I was focused on what was right in front of me and the bait, and I'm expecting to see a bear step out at any time. And then all of a sudden I heard that noise, that hiss, and it was over here to my right. And I knew it had to be super close, and so I slowly moved my eyes, and I just went like this, and the bear is right there, 10 feet from the base of my tree. And it's the big bear I call the belly dragger bear. He's a beautiful specimen, the kind of bear that anybody that likes to bear hunt would shoot and love to shoot. Well, he had come in on the trail that I walked in on, which I did not expect at all. You know, it's one of the reasons I set up my baits this way, is that I can walk to the tree and get in the tree without going all the way to the bait. Well, this bear is coming in that direction. He's directly downwind of me, but he's so close that I'm watching him thinking, okay, he got this far, and my scent is clearly going to be going over the top of him right now. My scent stream is, and I've done everything basically humanly possible to minimize my human scent. You know, we have great products that really help kill scent, and I use them, and I believe in them. I also understand that nothing is good enough to completely eliminate, totally eliminate your scent. And so a lot of people might say, okay, so if you can't completely eliminate your scent, why bother to try at all? Well, I could tell you lots of stories where there's huge value in reducing the amount of scent that you're giving off. Okay, but that's a whole different discussion for another time. So I've really minimized my scent as much as possible. And my scent stream is going over the top of this bear, and he took a couple of steps, and I think, okay, I'm going to get this bear. He's going to go to the bait, because he's, you know, 2 more steps and we're in the clear here. Well, he didn't make the 2 more steps. He lost his nerve, and he turned around and slowly walked back. And when he got about 15 yards back to my 4-wheeler trail that comes in, or maybe a little more than that, then he got a full whiff of me, and he did not bolt. He didn't freak out. he just snuck down this way and went into the bush. So that was the encounter that I had with a belly dragger bear. And I know, sorry this was kind of long, but I wanted to share it with you because there's a lot of information here that probably a lot of you don't know. So that's what happened there. Over the next few days here, it's supposed to rain the next 3 days, and you know, if it rains in the evenings, we probably will not hunt. I've got a new bear, a nice 250-pound bear or so that showed up at the home bait again here now just last night. He ate a lot, so he might become a regular bear here, which is good. Big Slick and the belly dragger bear are back on the bait, but so far they're completely nocturnal. And so typically I have a southeast or east to northeast wind with this rainy weather, so if we get some breaks in the rain in the afternoon, it's a really good time to hunt. So we'll see what happens here. Hopefully we'll be bringing you a video of a really big bear being shot, so stay tuned. Thanks for enjoying these videos with me, and also, as always, please leave a comment below if you have any questions. I'll try to answer them the best I can. Any comments, what would you do different? You think I'm doing anything wrong, you know, put her down there. So we definitely would love to hear from you. Thanks for being a part of this. We'll talk to you again in a couple days.